Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on TNA Impact Wrestling and some brief news and some happy birthdays. Former tag team WWF tag team champion Jim the Anvil Neidhart turned 57 years old. Neidhart is one half of the original Hart Foundation with the WWE legend Bret Hart and is father of current WWE diva Natalya. Keeping with the Hart Foundation theme, former WWE superstar Harry Smith turned 27 today. Smith was a member of the Hart dynasty with Tyson Kidd and is the son of the late British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, and Bret Hart is his uncle. And a interview with Kayfabe Wrestling Radio from Kenny King with the host Alan Wojcik and Spug. It normally airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The interview is available at wildtalkradio.com. About the rumors that they were anxious about to be Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions before the deal with Sinclair Media instead of Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. That's a true statement. That was the plan. I mean, the bottom line is that we were going on Sinclair Broadcasting, a major presence on broadcast TV. So I guess the mindset of those who makes these sports of decisions was like, oh, we should make them more recognizable. Since it will be a large audience, we would have more recognizable tag champs, which from a business point of view, I understood. I thought it wasn't necessarily the best decision at that point. Everyone was so focused on making us the best that we could be. Live, everybody, one way or the other, was taking a back seat or just filling it in just so we could make a major push towards being number 2, and that was the beginning of it. If you thought TNA was in trouble with Ring of Honor's media deal or Ring of Honor's potentiality taking over the spotlight, I thought that for a very long time. I thought that from the beginning, I'm very good friends with Kerry Silken, the former owner of Ring of Honor, and this was something that I was very, very happy for him because he could go get out of the financial burden of Ring of Honor, and he could actually love it again. So I was very excited for that. I really thought that looking around at the group of guys that we had a couple of pay-per-views that we had. I remember the first TV taping we had in Baltimore specifically, thinking, wow, we've really hit our stride here, and I think these other dudes are in trouble. But I think that they were consensus. Everyone was about that, and that was the first time I'd seen that in a long time in a wrestling locker room, where everybody was about solidarity, and that's a good feeling. From the top guys to the bottom guys, that everyone is like, we can do this, let's get it, this is our opportunity to shine. Any comments on the reaction to Border Wars pay-per-view incident? There was a select few of us that knew about the broadcast issues, and I mean, it is what it is. I think personally it was very shitty. We are owned by a broadcast company, and Sinclair has to own up to this. We are owned by a broadcasting company, and the things that should never be a problem are number 1, production and broadcasting. Was number 2. We should never have issues with those things getting it to the fans the way that we presented it to the fans should never, ever, ever be a problem. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to copy Chris Jericho. If you're owned by a broadcasting company, and the fact that we had 3 pay-per-views, that shit, the shit in the tank. We have good freaking pay-per-views, but burned a lot of people. I thought Border Wars was one of the best pay-per-views that we put on, top to bottom, since I'd been there, and I'd been there a long time on many his contact saga he had with Ring of Honor. The bottom line is this. It took them a very, very long time, last minute, 11th hour, for them to even begin talking to me about my new contract. Those people knew how little time from the time that they actually started talking to me to the time that when my contract expired, that it would be a joke. So in that period, I'd like to... in that period of time, they asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, listen, I feel like I have some other opportunities, other options that I'd like to see what's up with. Not saying that I want to go anywhere, but I feel I've earned the right to at a 60-day clause. Not sure what it's called, but it was basically a contact extension that gave the option, which was called the free agent option, where I could negotiate or talk to anyone from WWE or TNA, and basically, if after the 60-day nothing happened, then if I wanted to resign with Ring of Honor, then I could or would. Everything is wide open. And now for your Impact results. Impact Wrestling results. Airing from Orlando, Florida. The sound was briefly out, but there was a segment ending on the prior show where they had some wrestlers backstage battling it out. That was where the sound was out to begin the show. And when my DVR started taping, they were already almost headed out to the Impact Zone, as they were briefly shown coming from the back. And it was 4 guys that were actually brawling last week. That's none other than Bobby Roode, Kenny King, Austin Aries, and Zema Ion. So they start out, and Earl Hebner is a referee after corralling all the guys from the battle from the backstage all the way to the ring and outside the ring. So we have Austin Aries and Kenny King in a tag team action against Bobby Roode and Zema Ion. Aries and Roode started the official match, but Roode quickly tagged in Ion into the match. Aries got the better of Ion and worked him over as he stared a hole through Roode. TNA is airing tweets from the live fans tonight in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. That'll get old quick. King and Aries continued to tear into Ion, and they worked a series of quick tags to keep him on their side of the ring. Bobby Roode managed to drag King out of the ring at one point and rammed him into the apron. Ion followed with a dive on King, and the heels took over the action. They go to break. Kenny King got a hot spot. Got a hop spot. But Roode and Ion managed to keep him off of his feet. The heels continued their assault. A-Double eventually had enough and charged the ring to take out Roode. Kenny King followed with his finisher on Ion for the 1, 2, 3. A-Double and Kenny King defeated Bobby Roode and Zema Ion 15 minutes and 6 seconds. Previously on Impact, Aces and Eights attacked a lot of people, and James Storm was accused of being their leader. Sting spoke with Harvey backstage. Sting said he was going to wait to hear from the horse's mouth about their allegiance to the Aces and Eights. He said he would hear from them in about 2 seconds as he hits the ring. Wow, what a fun way to open up Impact. I would have liked to see this match later in the evening to give the X Division guys more rub. But if it's not going to end the show, they might as well open it. I like the Twitter scroll idea, but not during matches. But the execution is, like I said, because it's obstructive to the show. Who wants to read tweets? If you want to read tweets, just watch it on the internet. TNA or on your phones. Come on. Be serious, bro. TNA would be better served using scroll on the bottom of the screen. That's how I've done rather than a graphic that takes up a large chunk of the screen. Well, Sting made his entrance and called out Jane Storm. Storm quickly obliged. Sting had some footage to show that was rather compelling, not to me. Substantial evidence in a court of law. Sting narrated a recap of Aces and Eights attacking AJ Styles and running from Storm last week. As Storm did actually tried to attack one of them. Was it a slow forearm on the ropes? And the guy just slid off the apron. Storm called Aces and Eights cowards and said that they ran from someone who was going to kick their asses. Storm cited Sting and Storm's history and said he never needed anyone to fight his battles for him. Storm talked about how he was once jumped by Kurt Angle, and he came back and beat him on 3 separate occasions. He said he didn't need anyone else to do that. Angle took his name drop and his invitation to join the party. Taz and Tenay checked in on and continued to question Storm's character. Angle said that he and Storm had been through a lot this last year. Angle said he doesn't understand Storm's motives. Angle connected to the dots between Storm and Aces and Eights. Angle begged Aces and Eights to get involved in this match tonight. Sting got fired up, and he was also involved in this. And he said he was going to be ringside during Angle and Storm's match. And Angle got in Storm's face and told him he will make him tap out to end the segment. Well, as he was saying that, Angle was walking up the ramp, and Jane Storm says, replies, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Tenay and Taz showed us a few AJ Styles picks from Australia. They recapped Claire's most recent accusations, focusing mostly on the creeper picks, while Muscane crawled off and hid in the corner. Christopher Daniels and Kazarian spoke backstage about how they were going to throw a baby shower for Claire. How sweet. Lord help me. The Claire storyline makes my head hurt. It's the only one black mark on the recent TNA storylines that it could use an end to. TNA continues to undermine Storm's character, and I question the wisdom in doing so. Storm was not so over that he can really take an assault on his character, yet TNA is going after his and Styles' integrity and considerable gusto. Taz and Tenay hyped the Hardcore Bound for Glory series matches that were worth 20 points at Hardcore Justice. Bully Ray cuts a promo before his match, and he never trusted Storm. He promised to be at ringside also during Storm's match. Robbie T floored Bully Ray before the match could even start. Not much of this match. Bully Ray countered one of Robbie E's moves, and that was all of Bully Ray's offense. Ends it with a cutter. 1, 2, 3 pinfall. That's all Robbie E and Robbie T got involved just as the match was beginning and knocked down Bully Ray. And then Robbie E just gave him some swinging blows, and that was it. He pounced on Ray. Ray quickly came back with a series of chops and a cutter from out of nowhere. Quick victory. Match took about 52 seconds for 7 points for Bully Ray. Earl Hebner gave Madison Rayne some romantic gifts backstage. Actually, he was just sitting there holding them, and she was just taking them from him. Gail Kim came in to protest about how Madison Rayne won the match last week, and how she should screw over someone in a match so Kim had nothing to worry about. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Remember when is it to aid the Claire storyline? That was one black mark on TNA storytelling. That was because my brain rejected the existence of the Hebner as a hunk story. Be that as it may, I'm still willing to give this a breathing room, because it looks like it's just Madison Rayne trying to get a leg up in the Knockouts division. I reserve the right to change my mind in tune, as it takes a turn for the supremely stupid. Chrissy Hemme introduces Miss Tessmacher as guest announcer. Tara versus Madison Rain versus Gail Kim versus Mickie James to determine the number one contender. Very similar match to last week, with Tara getting the Duke, supposedly. Tara cleanly had her shoulder up, and both shoulders were down right in front of Earl Hebner's eyes. And Earl Hebner counts 1, 2, 3. Both shoulders are down, Earl Hebner. Wake up. This storyline is stupid. It's worse than the You Screw Bret Hart storylines. Well, so Madison Rain won in this kind of boring match. The actual action, and here goes some of the action. Kim and Rain worked together to overcome Tara and James in the early stages of the match. Kim eventually took a dump to the floor, and Mickie got the win off with a neck breaker on Rain. Kim recovered and broke the pin. Tara slammed Kim and went up top rope. Rain recovered and swept her legs. Mickie saved Tara from a Rain assault. Kim hit Tara with a superplex. And all four men was sold out, being tired on the mat. Kim had the pin, but Earl Hebner was too busy ogling with Madison Rain, as Madison Rain was just rubbing her fingers on Earl's lips, distracted him. Well, Tara hit the widow peak on Kim and rolled Rain up for the pin. But Earl screwed her again. 1, 2, 3 to give Madison Rain the win with both shoulders down right in front of his face. And that match took 7 minutes 25 seconds. And she becomes the new number one contender to the Knockouts Championship. And then they recapped the Angle questioning storm from earlier tonight. Bobby Roode bragged about his seed of distrust backstage and had spread throughout all of TNA. He promised to join, might as well be a lumberjack match later on for the main event. And shortly after that, as Bobby Roode was walking off, Austin Aries was shown on camera at the same time he was walking off. Well, he commented and said, well, he might as well join the party as well. Sting spoke with Brooke Hogan backstage in the office, who was still distressed over Aces and Eights' attack on her father. Brooke said she would be down in the middle as well, be a lumberjack in a lumberjack match later. Oh wait, no, she didn't. She might as well join the party. Brooke sold her fear for Aces and Eights, and Sting made sure that she was still able to run the Knockouts division. Someone brought in a manila envelope, a delivery, and Brooke ran from Sting's office. Because inside the envelope, when she opened up, a picture with Aces and Eights on it. The most convoluted way of setting up a lumberjack match that I have ever seen. I'm fine with them having a lumberjack match, but they're just there to keep other guys out, especially to ward off Aces and Eights attack. By the way, everyone is promising to be out there is coming off quite cartoonish at this point. Well, they show ODB and Eric Young speaking backstage. It could have been done a couple of weeks ago by satellite, about how Brooke Hogan had been bugging ODB about not defending the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Young plugged his new fishing show. Young grabbed the belt and ran to hide so they wouldn't have to defend him. ODB was still asking a question, where's her damn fried chicken? Chavo Guerrero Jr. in his debut versus Kid Cash. I didn't even see Hernandez there in the match. I heard the announcer saying that Hernandez was there to watch his back. And I didn't see very much Gunner. He was walking with Kid Cash. Cash got some early shots early on, but Chavo quickly took over and got his move set to honor his Uncle Eddie with full display. Cash hits an offensive flurry, but Chavo came back Off a failed moonsault from Cash, Chavo hit the Three Amigos and the Frog Splash for the pinfall. And Chavo defeated Kid Cash in 4 minutes 42 seconds. Dixie Carter was shown backstage and said that it's way past time for AJ Styles to step up and address the accusations levied against him. Then they showed Kazarian and Daniel carrying gifts backstage. Well, how many people Chavo should bring back his old moveset? I mean, understanding using the Three Amigos and the Frog Splash on already, but changing his repertoire to drastically that it's always felt more like exploitation than it is a tribute. Try as he may, Chavo as it comes off as trying to be Eddie-like. It hurts High considerably because Chavo can work such quicker style that fits him better, but he simply chooses not to. Getting past a personal reaction to Chavo's style, this was a solid first match for Chavo that did a good job of establishing him to any unfamiliar TNA viewers. Commercial break, and Angle spoke to Wes Briscoe backstage, and this is his debut, but not his wrestling debut, about his dream to be a wrestler. Devon and Garrett shows up, pledged their help for covering Angle during his match for later. So that's another adding to the Lumberjacks. The more the merrier. Daniel Kazarian stood in the ring explaining that Styles was down in Australia and likely impregnating someone else. They invited Claire into the ring, who was conveniently seated at ringside. Claire joined the pair in the ring, and Claire got a sparkly necklace to wear. More like a gypsy necklace. This was all the smiles, and as Daniels explained that he has 2 children and knows the importance of pregnancy. Daniel said Styles has been treating her like crap, so they were there for her tonight. First present contained a ton of diapers. The second was a series of AJ Styles action figures, signed pictures, and tag team toy belts, and a few t-shirts, mostly from the grab bag special. You know, the crazy, insane deals at TNAshop.com. Finally, another gift containing a baby doll with a miniature Styles vest. Claire turned to the camera and screamed that Styles needed to do the right thing. Sloppy job of acting. Yeah, it continues to be a terrible to sit through. Good time when they come to go get you a glass of water, glass of beer, a case of beer. Go to the store, come back. Maybe she'll be off their screen. Daniels and Kazarian were actually fun in that segment, and they have served as a bright spot in this bad story. But Claire is simply changing badly. Joseph Park spoke backstage about how he was not now representing some other TNA talent. Park ran up to Sting and said he didn't want to be kayfabe. He was looking for clients. Sting said he was good, but asked about the Black Hole Slam from a few weeks back. Park said he didn't know what Sting was talking about. Immediately changed the subject. Taz and Tenay hyped Pope versus RVD for next week, as well as AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle and Bully Ray versus James Storm. Kurt Angle versus James Storm in the Bound for Glory series was next, despite all the promises. No one was at ringside for the match to start off. Angle and Storm chain wrestled to start, with neither man gaining an upper hand. Sting eventually made his way out to ringside. Devon and Garrett made their entrances. Storm went for an early last call, but Angle caught his foot. Billy Ray made his presence known at ringside. Back from the break, and as also Storm hit Angle with a series of knees and a hanging DDT. Bobby Roode made his entrance, quickly followed by a double. Angle hits the rolling German suplexes. Angle went for an Angle slam, but Storm rolled out. Angle hit an awkward last call and went for an ankle lock. Storm battled out and hit the Angle slam for a near fall. Angle locked in the ankle lock. Storm sat in the hole for a long time, but he managed to roll over and kicks Angle off. Storm hits the last call and covered Angle for the win. Storm defeated Kurt Angle in 13 minutes 29 seconds by pinfall to earn 7 points in the series. Angle eventually shook Storm's hand after the match and gave him a hug. Storm grabbed the mic and he called out Ace and Eights. Bobby Roode grabbed the mic and he said they're not here because he already beat Angle. Roode said that Storm is the man behind the attacks and the whole world knows it. Bully Ray snuck up behind Storm and attacked A Double and Roode and Bully Ray, and Storm brawled to end the show. The match was okay, but just a rehash of what we've seen from all the recent Kurt Angle main events and the formula, which is normally a good one. In the beginning, to get stale from repeated use, the match was in no way helping from the many cuts to various guys walking out from the back. It made things so much clunkier than it needed to be, despite the lackluster main event. This show was a very solid and entertaining edition of Impact that continues to the TNA's trend of entertaining television. TNA has a few gremlins to work out of the show, like technical issues, pacing, and the Claire Lynch. Just to say a few things. And the Claire Lynch just needs to end. I mean, come on, get a better actress. Well, that ends my ranting and raving about for TNA and Claire storyline.